We've been waiting for this. The manager of your Athletics, Mark Kotsay, is here. And everybody needs to know that you want a strong leader. You want a leader that you know will be able to handle his own business. Currently, right now, over at SiriusXM, Power Alley, you do a show with them once a week. They have a grip strength tester over there for all the managers. Currently, you are the leader in the clubhouse. You are the strongest manager in Major League Baseball.
My wife wouldn't say that after, not working out for the last 2 months, but hand strength, that's something that you just don't lose, right? I mean, I guess if there's one thing that I feel strongly about, it's a good, strong handshake.
And there's younger guys now who are managing, and you're taking all these guys down.
We'll see. I don't think it's done yet.
You're the leader in the clubhouse.
Well, that feels good to be the leader in the clubhouse, yes.
Yeah. It's like day 3 of the Masters, and you're the leader. You haven't won the green jacket yet, but you are the leader. How are the meetings going for you?
Well, I got in last night, and MLB Radio was the first thing on the docket this morning. Now it's A's Cast.
Did you say anything important over there?
Not really. I mean, the biggest announcement during my MLB radio show is that Kyle Schwarber signed back with the Phillies for 5 years.
Yeah, that's not a shocker.
No, I think that's where he belongs. I mean, it's, you as players, I think you get accustomed to your routines and your environment, and it's difficult to make that change. And I think for Kyle, he's found it a great place that he feels really good being, there in Philly, and the success he's had. That doesn't surprise me that he wanted to stay there and he signed back.
And it looks like Edwin Diaz has signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Here the Dodgers are being quiet, and now they signed the number 1 reliever on the market. We don't know years, and we don't know – do we know years? So it's coming down. So we just know that he has signed with the Dodgers. We don't know years.
3 years. It's got to be 3 years.
3 years.
I would say 3 years and 75, somewhere in that ballpark.
85, probably. Somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
So yesterday, Billy Owens was on here, Athletics assistant general manager, and he was talking about the biggest strength for you is the fact that you kind of did everything in your career, right? You were a number 1 pick. You were a darling coming up with the Marlins. You played 17 years. You were a primetime player. You were an older player. You've been through everything in the game, and that can truly help you help players. And that's why when I think of the winter meetings, and we can talk to you about Schwarber and be like, why is it a good fit to go back? Why is it a good fit to go somewhere else? You have the answers for all that because you experienced all that in your career.
Well, I don't know if they're the answers, but I mean, it definitely, I think, we all like to lean on experiences to form an opinion about situations. And this is one where, unfortunately, I never had that type of career that Schwarber's had. But that being said, I do know what it feels like to be traded. I do know what it feels like to sign as a free agent, and so those things, form that opinion about Kyle where, there's a lot about family that we don't think about, that fans don't think about, how comfortable you get, whether your kids are in school, and you've made it your community. Something that I really want to push for in Vegas. I love, the thought process of having our own stadium and being able to have a group of guys work out there in November and December and January and drop into the stadium and, be able to hang out and even have lunch with the guys in the off season. It gives you a head start. It gives you an opportunity to build, a better relationship, a tighter bond. One of the great things this off season that took place was Tyler Soderstrom's wedding. We had quite a few guys out there, Britt Rooker, Jacob Wilson, just to name a couple, Shea Langley-Ayers. There were guys, Max Muncy, and they were all hanging out together. And that says a lot about the culture of this club coming together and wanting to spend time, with each other. And that's great.
And something that David told us and we'll talk to David Force tomorrow, the general manager of the Athletics, but he told us down when we opened up the Experience Center about some players that have been offered some contract extensions, like what we saw with Lawrence Butler and Brent Rooker. Takes two to tango, right? Like both sides got to agree, but that's got to make you feel good that some of your younger players are trying to make that commitment to get them to sign, get them to be here, get through Sacramento, and get into Vegas.
Yeah, 100%. We have two players on the roster that are committed to Vegas. With Butler and Rook, it'd be great to have another four. That nucleus of guys that really led us over the last 2 months offensively, would be great to keep them together. It reminds me of those teams in the past with the A's nucleus that came up together. And, it's definitely encouraging that the offers are out there. And like you said, it takes two to tango. As an organization, we love to make that commitment to these guys, but they also have to be in the right place for their lives, their families, their careers to also accept that commitment.
Yeah, yesterday we were going over pitching, and we had Scott Emerson on, and I went through a whole list, and I sent it to him, and he likes it. When I just start thinking of Severino, Springs, Morales, Lopez, Perkins, Ginn, then you got Jump, Net, Estes, Hoagland, Barnett, Basso, Waldachuk, Medina, Baez, Spence. You've got a lot of potential starting pitching going into spring training. How does that make you feel?
No, it's great. I mean, we need depth. We saw that this year. The more depth you can have at the starter within the starting roles, the better opportunity you're going to have to kind of get through the adversity of a season. We know that really well. We also know that, the starters set the tone.
Yeah.
And, for Severino and Springs, having a year under their belt, pitching in the Sacramento ballpark, I think they've got a head start now. We've worked out, the kinks in terms of how the park plays. I think we've improved our defense, which also leads to a lot of confidence. But those names that you said and the excitement around them, I talked a little bit on MLB radio about it. The young pitching kind of reminds me of the young position players that have now come into fruition, right? It's the 23 season, we took our lumps. 24 season, we got better. In the 25 season, they improved. And we're talking about the position player group. Well, this young pitching group with the Jump, Net, Baez, Echeverria, which I don't know if you mentioned him. He's a little bit younger, but he's still a highly touted prospect in our organization. And then you've got Arnold, right? So there's a collection of young starters. And if we can get one or two, three of those guys to hit and have impact at the big league level, whether that's this season or next, it'll really help us.
Yeah, I see Arnold, the number one pick out of Florida State, probably being more a last year in Sacramento guy. I don't know if he'll make it up to the big leagues next year, but yeah, you're talking like a Chris Sale-like talent.
Yeah, I really believe, we saw a young starter with the Blue Jays pitch in the World Series.
Yeah.
Right. And there was an accelerated path for him. But that's encouraging. And that's something that takes a lot of courage, I think, as an organization to promote a young pitcher. But he really had a lot of success throughout his minor leagues in a very
Savage
short
was very accomplished. But I think about you.
Well, so was Jump,
Yeah.
and Arnold to a certain extent.
How long did it take you to you jumped up to the big leagues right away?
I was drafted in 96. I was in the big leagues July 11th of 97.
On a World Series team.
On a World Series team. Yeah. I had 18 days before Leland sent me back to Double-A and told me, can you figure out not rolling over to second base so much?
Did you do it with a cigarette?
Well, he blew smoke too, yeah. I mean, I really like you, kid. Hey, I really like you, but hey, go back Double-A and figure it
out. The big question for you, what do you look at here at the winter meetings? A lot of people talk about second base, third base. I'm kind of a let's let Max Muncy play and let's see what he's got at third base. But what do you think in second and third?
I mean, it'd be nice to bring someone in with the back of a baseball card that's got some experience, that plays good defense at one or two of those positions. But I do believe, I'm confident in the crew that's going to go into spring training, and I've talked to all of them that you better come ready to play. You better come ready to compete, because there's jobs in front of you that you need to win out of spring training. There's a group there. You look at Hernais, you look at Harris, you look at Muncie, that are going to come into camp and really want to compete for those jobs. Schumann, who's been a utility guy this last season. But yeah, there's definite competition. But again, if we can target and identify someone that we feel confident in bringing in that can help this club, I see us trying to accomplish that.
That would be nice to see. But pretty much the offense wasn't the problem last year. You guys hit.
We did. The defense was a problem April,
Early.
May. We made improvements to that. I still think we can get better defensively. I saw Jacob Wilson really improve in September, which I was really happy about. Max Muncie will be the project to really improve his defense at third base and get him comfortable and confident over there, or second base. We also haven't talked about Zach Geloff, and this is a kid that really accomplished quite a lot in his first year in those 3 or 4 months. Had a difficult year, and then last year was really plagued with some injuries. So maybe there's a bounce back year in that kid, and he comes in
Love to
camp,
see that.
and yeah, it'd be great.
Because when you think of the athleticism, the size, the power, if he could get back to the guy that first came up, I mean, what that would mean to your lineup. But Nick Kurtz, he was so amazing. Like going into year 2, we talk about I don't think there's going to be a sophomore jinx. You look at year 2, like how do you prepare for year 2 with Nick Kurtz to just allow him to keep being great?
Yeah, I think Nick's got the right mindset. I mean, even when I said this on MLB, that Nick has always been a player with high levels of expectation put on him, as not just an amateur, but even moving through our minor league system. Being a first-round draft pick, always being looked at as the guy, getting to the big leagues pretty quickly. He's been able to deal with those levels of expectation pretty darn well. The biggest adjustments will be, the league making the adjustment on him, identifying his holes, but they still got to throw it there. And when they don't throw it there, it goes a long ways, as we saw kind of over the big tower in center field.
Does he really have weaknesses?
He does. There's some holes, definitely, but he'll clean those up. This kid works hard. He's very humble too, which I love about him, but he's got a presence about him that's really special. And it was really fun just watching him have the success he had, the accomplishments of winning Rookie of the Year. And let's not leave out Jacob Wilson as well,
Oh, yeah.
So, like you said, the core of our team is made up of those position players, but I really do believe there's some talent in this organization on the pitching side that can hopefully develop very quickly and lead to a lot of success.
There is a lot of talk, around here when you interview. We got a couple managers coming on after in our afternoon session, and everybody acts like, oh, yeah, we're in lockstep. You truly are in lockstep with David Forst. You guys have known each other for a long, long time. There's a lot of trust there. Just kind of take us through here at the winter meetings when talking to players, talking to agents, who you're going to, we talk about extending the contract offers to some of your players. You're also throwing contracts out there to players that are not yours right now. Talk about the relationship you have with David and the conversations that you two have, and talk about how guys would fit in your clubhouse.
Yeah, I mean, we talk daily. It's not really an off season. It's an off season, but it's not an off season. I mean, David and I, we talk every day, and we're always challenging each other, challenging the processes, and trying to just make improvements on a daily basis. And so those conversations, like you said, we're in lockstep, but there are things that we both are passionate about, and I think the relationship is solid. It's more than solid, like you said, and I'm just looking forward to winning with him.
Yeah, we need to win some games.
Yeah,
a lot of games, and a lot of people think this year could be an interesting year. When you get into those, it's interesting. Front office people do have to think different than the manager, because what are you thinking about? You're thinking about winning every day. They also have to think about the future. There's a lot of things that they have to think about. And those how interesting is that when how he has to do his business is a little bit different. But in the end, the buck stops with you on an everyday basis.
Well, it doesn't necessarily stop with me, but everyone has to manage up and manage down, and in this environment, I think we do a good job of communicating that to each other and trying to communicate that to everyone in the organization. The one great thing about the A's organization is that it's loyal, and the continuity of the organization has always been there. You walk by and see Eric Kubota, who's being honored. I think he's Tony Gwynn, maybe the Lifetime Achievement Award here by Baseball America. Kubota's been in this organization for ever.
Yeah.
Right. Grady Fuson left, came back, but been here forever. Mickey Morabito, traveling secretary. So it's been fun. The relationships in this organization are very deep, and for David and I think the focus right now is putting the best team on the field and winning this division.
And getting ready for Vegas. You were there when we were all there for the Experience Center, which was absolutely amazing. And I get it. We're going to use that to sell suites and tickets and everything. But the one thing I was thinking about when we were in there and I was doing the show in there, I was like, this would really be a great place to bring potential free agents, to give them an idea of like, this is what it's going to look like, to put them in that cube. And this is the ballpark. Did you feel that way?
Not just the sales center, but I think the community of Vegas is a special place, and everyone thinks of Vegas because they've been there on the Strip and they've been to the casinos, and it's a tourism place. But the community's it's stronger than and until you get in there and you put your feet on the ground. Rook and I went out and we handed out turkeys outside the Boys and Girls Club just outside of downtown, and you could just see the love, the passion for the community, the people of the community, the help, the support that they wanted to give, and so bringing free agents in, the biggest thing that I can tell a free agent is that, you're going to get a pay raise because it's tax-free.
No state taxes.
Right. But at the same point, the stadium is going to be special. It really is. And, I don't think even the replica that we saw in that sales center, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah, the model's
pretty awesome, right? But when you look at this ballpark and the location of the ballpark on Tropicana and Las Vegas Boulevard, like it's going to be special.
Yeah.
So, the design of it, the whole landscape, the proximity of the fans to the field. I mean, you want to give me an earful, you're going to be able to give me an earful because you're only going to be about 10 feet from me on my right side if you're down low. So, the goal, again, let's get there. Let's win. And
win before we get there.
Yeah. And walk in there.
So what are you doing after this? What are you going to Disneyland? What's the plans here in Orlando for Mark Kotsay?
No, it's an in and out type trip. We got some more requirements this afternoon. And we'll be excited about our draft tonight. Odds are a little bit stacked against us, but hey, odds were stacked with us, and we ended up where we should have had a first pick to sixth, and then we probably were in line to be top 4, and we got 4, right? So now we're in line for like 8 or 10.
I know.
Maybe the script flips.
That 6 and 4 worked out pretty well.
Pretty well.
I think if we redrafted, you think Kurtz would go number 1? Right?
Well said, Downey.
Right?
Well
if
said.
We
so another tip of the cap to Kubota and to our scouting department, right? Billy O. I owe Billy O a kiss on the lips. I'm gonna find him, but Billy O told us last spring training that Nick Kurtz would be the best player on the team come August. And I said, Billy O, if he's the best player on our team come August, I will kiss you on the lips. I haven't seen him yet. He keeps hiding from me.
So, yeah, I've heard that story. You really didn't believe it.
No, I mean, we had Brent Rooker on the team. He's Silver Slugger, 30 homers. Like, come on, you're not going to be better than Brent Rooker.
This kid's amazing.
We could argue. I mean, Shed Langlier's he had a damn good year too.
And
Tyler Soderstrom,
fantastic,
Gold Glove type defense, and never played left field before.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
The thing, and to back up Shea and Cal Raleigh, I think what bugs me about the whole American League MVP is that people don't realize, whether it's Shea, it's Cal Raleigh, or whoever the catcher is, all the meetings that they have to do. They've got to know all the pitchers. There's so much they have to sacrifice for everybody else, let alone worry about their own game. And no one takes that. Like when you talk about Shea's year last year, we always look at offensively, but think of all the work that he has to do to help everybody else.
Let me lay the day out, right? Let's just call it, let's say we're on the road, okay? And we had a 6:40 game. Well, Shea gets there by 1 o'clock. There's a meeting with the pitching coach, myself, right, in my office from 1:15 to, let's call it 1:45, right? And that's all the information. We're going over the roster. We're going over who we want to target, who we want to get away from, who we don't want to let beat us, the running game, Okay, that meeting's done. So then he goes off and he probably preps, goes in the training room, gets his day, gets started. Then there's another meeting after BP, and that meeting is with the starting pitcher alone. So now he's got to go with the starting pitcher, and he's got to get that game plan. He's got to get that going. Then there's a bullpen meeting for our bullpen relievers, right? And how they line up with the team. And he's got that report to go over. Oh, and then by the way, like you got to go hit. You got to know their starter, what your game plan is going to be. That's Shea's day.
Yeah.
Right. And so, like you said, I mean, the demand on catching right now and the amount of information that's in the game and they're expected to know is incredible. And for them to go out and perform offensively, it's a bonus.
And I never thought about this, and it's a great point. I don't remember who brought it up. I'm stealing it for somebody. They are catching velocity that no catchers have ever seen before.
Ever.
And it's every pitch is it's unbelievable.
Yeah. No, I know. Tony, I got to run.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
You.
Thank you.
Be well. I hope you win Strongest Manager. I hope that holds up.
I better hold up. Might have to come back.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays,
Same.
I will be in touch.